Ed Innovation Summit. I'm Dr. Rod Berger with the Corps of Education and American Ed TV, standing alongside Idit Harel, the CEO and founder of Global Laureate. It's nice to see you today. How are you, Idit?
Thank you. Hi, Rod. Great to be here.
It's great to be with you. We've had a lot of fun, even, obviously before we got on camera here, joking around about just participating and meeting all sorts of neat people here at the summit. What brings you to the Ed Innovation Summit?
All these people that are here, I have colleagues who are founders and CEOs of leading education technology companies. So it's great to meet with them and get up to speed and up to date, maybe form some business partnerships. But also there are a lot of angel investors and VCs, and we are raising money. So I'm really delighted to be here, scheduled a lot of meetings, and I have high hopes.
Great. Well, tell us a little about Global Laureate. I've done, obviously reading on it.
And by the way, I'm a presenting company.
And you are.
Say that. Do you want to ask me again so I can say that?
Are you a presenting company?
And also, Global Laureate is a presenting company this year, which is very exciting. It's Tuesday at 10 o'clock.
Okay, I like that. Tell us a little bit about Global Laureate for those who don't know exactly what it is and really your spot or your space in education.
Global Laureate offers courses for teaching middle school and high school kids, computer science, engineering, design, game design, and coding. We have very structured with scope and sequence courses for course credit and grade that are being offered in middle school, high school, during the school day for course credit and grade. And we have outstanding teacher training, professional development, game design competitions, and a full-fledged curriculum in two formats. We can be integrated by principals into the math curriculum or the science curriculum or the English curriculum, or we can be an elective. We can be part of the CTE, the Career and Technical Education, and we can also be an elective like Game Design 1, Game Design 2 for middle schoolers and high schoolers.
So, Idit, from my vantage point, it might be fair to say that it's a crowded marketplace when it comes to STEM education and all the offerings that are out there. When you decided to found Global Laureate, what did you look at in the market and say, this is missing, and/or we can do this better, or different?
When I decided to start Global Laureate, I looked out there, and that was already 7 years ago. And nobody was doing blended learning. Nobody was combining online resources and structured courses online with the understanding that we are designed for school, and for most of America's children, that will be the way to get bandwidth, high-speed internet, and to learn how to learn online. So we had that vision for blended learning, broadband learning, very early on. We also had a vision for the necessity for STEM. There are millions of jobs, maybe 2 to 3 million jobs unfilled. We already saw it coming back in 2006, 2007, 2008. And we decided to create the ideal courses that are super fun and super engaging to get not just the nerds, not just the top of the class, but all kids access to an opportunity to really get to delve into computer science ideas, computational thinking, innovation, creativity, teamwork, and we designed our courses very carefully around that.
Where does the teacher fit into the equation? A lot of times when you speak with teachers behind closed doors, they talk about being left out of the equation, left out of the discussion in the planning process from ed tech companies. How do you think about the educator in the equation of Global Laureate and how kids would learn through your methods?
We place the teachers at the center. It's student-centered learning, but without the teachers at the center together with the students, it's not going to work. So our platform for the students have a sister platform for the teachers. The teachers are learning with the same curriculum, and they're supported every step of the way. We have excellent professional development, which is why principals really like Global Laureate in their schools. And we also work with all kinds of teachers. That's why we named our course kind of in this funny word, Global Laureate, right? It's about global innovation, global explorations with media. It's not intimidating. The math teacher can do it, and the music teacher can do it, and the English teacher can do it, but also the technology teacher can do it. You don't need to be a computer science expert to be trained to teach our courses for engaging your students in STEM. That's our special magic, right? And what we do is we train every new teacher for 3 days, and we attach a mentor to every teacher that fits the teacher, middle school, high school, elective, chemistry, whatever they teach with Global Laureate. And then they come to monthly virtual seminars, and they come to January mid-year training, and they come to summer trainings that are all virtual. So we start face-to-face to build the community and to build the comfort of teachers as learners, because many of them never learned on a MOOC, never learned on an online system. They don't really know how to submit tickets to get help and expert on demand, and how to call in for 5 minutes an expert on their whiteboard to really teach the students something they don't feel comfortable teaching. But our resources are out there, and we teach the teachers how to navigate and how to manage the class. And they have progress guides and pace guides to really take the students every topic and subtopic for completion. We have 95 completion rates for our courses as a result.
And then that takes us to the student, Idit. So here's what I think is fascinating with the generation that we're working with, right? They often know more than we know as adults in technology, right? They're the ones that are really pushing the envelope because this is a part of their life. This is something that they're doing for fun, whereas our generations, we would have to have gone out and actually forced our way into learning that skill. How do you stay ahead of the game with regards to the end user being the child who is just as adept at technology and gaming and building apps, right? So that they find Global Laureate engaging and that it meets their needs and it's not static?
Well, I have news for you. Okay. Out of the 55 million kids in America's 140,000 schools, most of them are not ahead of the game. We come to a lot of schools that are disconnected from bandwidth, to a lot of schools where the students may not have emails, don't know how to blog. Maybe they're texting, but that doesn't mean that they're technologically fluent. That doesn't mean that they know how to use technology for innovation, to build a design document and a prototype.
So do you think that we're seeing, maybe my error is paying attention to popular media that says these kids are so advanced?
Yes, most of the kids in America are not very advanced when it comes to computational thinking, when it comes to innovation, when it comes to teamwork with technology, to design, to build prototypes, to program, and to build an interactive game. Now, you're right about the fact that 97% of America's kids are playing games, which is why we designed our courses to be game design courses, because everybody likes to play games.
You have a built-in audience, right?
Exactly, they're hooked. So that's fun. Oh, I want to make a game. Boys and girls want to make a game. Now it's hard. It's hard fun, right? So we're hooking the kids in this digital medium that they love, you're right, but they're not necessarily experts and they're not necessarily fluent. There is this myth out there. And what we see is that millions of kids in America need to know how to learn online, how to run tutorials, how to complete tutorials, how to follow directions, how to really build something with their own voice. And then the teachers need to learn how to manage that creative process.
Very complex system, but necessary for us to move forward and progress. Let's close with this, Idit. I love talking with people here at the summit about their own experiences in education. Was there one teacher that you had growing up that inspired this outgoing, courageous spirit that you have that says, I want to start this company, I can see ahead before the market's ready, that we need to be able to do this and build? I'd love to know of that one teacher maybe that you had that when you were little said, Idit, you can do that, and really believed in you.
I would like to name two. One is my father, Yehuda Ron, and one is Seymour Papert from MIT. My father was an educator and a principal, and he started the first school in Israel for high school dropouts. So from a very young age, I knew that there is talent everywhere, there is a talent in everyone, and nobody is a dropout. You just have to design the learning culture and the environment to make sure they don't drop out. And he used to come every day since I was a little girl from work and ask me, do you have a big question for me? And if it wasn't big enough or hard enough, he says, well, think about a better question. And then, of course, I'll have to also answer the question. So that's one thing. I saw him starting a school. I was hanging out in a startup. Education was the family business. And that was totally inspiring. And then in graduate school, I met Seymour Papert, who, very much like my father, says, everybody can fall in love with learning. And that's really our mission. How can we create learning environments and programmable learning tools and use technology creatively so the kids are the cognitive scientists, so the kids are the educators, so the kids are the AI programmers, so the kids use technology to express themselves and fall in love with learning and have a voice. And I think these are two teachers that really inspired me in everything that I do.
Well, your energy is infectious, and I would encourage everybody to go check out Global Laureate. It's been a pleasure to speak with Idit Harel. I'm Dr. Rod Berger with the Corps of Education and American Ed TV, because education matters.